12th subject physics, 7th chapter wave optics. From the chapter what is polarization of light? We know that the light waves are electromagnetic waves. Therefore, they contain the electric field vector E and the magnetic field vector B. So in electromagnetic waves, the electric field vector E and the magnetic field vector B are perpendicular to each other, as well as they are perpendicular to the direction of propagation of light. And therefore, if the vibrations of electric field vectors are in all possible direction and the magnetic field vectors are perpendicular to it, then such type of light is called as unpolarized light. For example, the light emitted by a bulb is in all possible direction, and that's why the electric field vectors of that light will be in all possible direction, and such type of light is unpolarized light. But if the light is constrained so that the electric field vectors are restricted along one particular direction, then such type of light is called as polarized light. So it is denoted by double-headed arrow. So this electric field vector is lying in only one direction, and that's why it is polarized light. And therefore, the phenomenon of light in which the vibrations of electric field vectors are restricted or confined in a particular direction, such type of phenomenon is called as polarization of light. So, the phenomenon of light in which the vibrations of electric field vectors are restricted in a particular direction is called as polarization of light. So this polarization of light will take place with the help of the polarizers and the substances which produce the polarization. These are called as polarides, and therefore now we will study what are the polarizers and what are the polarides. The materials which allow only those light waves which have their electric field along a particular direction to pass through it and block all other waves which have their electric field in other direction, such materials are called as polarizers. So the materials which allow only those light waves which have their electric field along a particular direction to pass through and block all other waves which have their electric field in other direction, such materials are called as polarizers. On the other hand, the polaride is a synthetic plastic sheet which is used as the polarizer. The direction along which the electric field of emergent wave is oriented is called as polarizing axis of that polarizer. Now when an unpolarized light passes through a polarizer, the emergent light is plane polarized, and this concept gives to the plane of vibration and plane of polarization. So in this diagram, this material is acting as the polaride. So with the help of this diagram, we can define plane of vibration and plane of polarization. For that purpose, let us consider the unpolarized light. That is, the light which is having the vibrations of electric field vectors in all possible directions is traveling towards this polaride. Now, this vertical line will represent the polarizing axis of that polaride, and therefore when such unpolarized light is allowed to fall on this polaroid, at that time this polaroid will allow only those vibrations of electric field vectors which are parallel to its polarizing axis to pass through it, and therefore only the vertical vibrations of electric field vectors will get passed through it, and hence the plane ABCD, this is the plane ABCD, which is in the vertical direction, will contain the vibrations of electric field vectors. Such type of plane which contain the vibrations of electric field vectors will be the plane of vibration, and therefore the plane in which the vibrations of electric field vectors are present is called as plane of vibration. Now this plane of vibration ABCD is in the plane of the board. If we draw another plane which will be perpendicular, that plane will be perpendicular to the plane of the board, so that this will not contain the vibrations of electric field vectors, and that's why the plane PQRS, this is the plane PQRS, that plane will not contain the vibrations of electric field vectors, which will be called as plane of polarization. So the plane perpendicular to the plane of vibration, in which there are no vibrations of electric field vectors, is called as plane of polarization. That means in case of plane of vibration, the vibrations of electric field vectors are present, while in case of plane of polarization there will be no vibrations of electric field vectors, but these planes are perpendicular to each other. Now let us see the polarization of light by reflection. Polarization of light by reflection, that is nothing but Brewster's law. So in order to explain that Brewster's law or polarization by reflection, let us consider one boundary Mn, which is separating the two media. Above Mn there will be medium 1 having refractive index N1. Below that there is medium 2 having refractive index N2, so that this will act as rarer medium, this will act as denser medium. Now an unpolarized ray of light consisting of electric field vectors parallel to the plane of the board as well as perpendicular to the plane of the board will be obliquely incident on this surface Mn. Now in this case, these double-headed arrows will lie in the plane of the board, and the dots which are shown here, these dots will be perpendicular to the plane of the board, and therefore this light contains the vibrations in two different planes. That's why it is unpolarized light. When such light is allowed to incident on this boundary, at that time at a particular angle theta b, which is Brewster's angle, it is observed that there will be partial reflection and refraction of this incident light, and therefore when the angle of incidence is equal to Brewster's angle, it is observed that the reflected ray of light is plane polarized. That means it will contain only the vibrations in perpendicular plane to the plane of the board. That means these vibrations which are perpendicular to the plane of the board will be contained in that reflected ray of light. That's why it is plane polarized light. On the other hand, if you consider this refracted ray, it will contain both parallel as well as perpendicular components. But the magnitudes of these parallel and these perpendicular components will not be same. And therefore, as refracted ray contains both parallel as well as perpendicular vibrations, therefore that refracted ray is partially polarized. And when this angle of incidence is equal to Brewster's angle, at that time it is observed that the reflected ray, which is plane polarized, and the refracted ray, which is partially polarized, are perpendicular to each other, and therefore this angle between reflected ray and refracted ray will be equal to 90 degree. Now we will have to obtain the mathematical expression for Brewster's law. So from figure, theta b plus theta r equal to 90 degree. So from figure, if the angle between reflected ray and refracted ray equal to 90 degree, this is the normal to that surface. Therefore this total angle will be on the right side of this normal. Total angle is 180 degree. Out of this angle is 90 degree. Therefore the sum of this theta b and theta r will be equal to 90 degree, and hence from the equation figure we can write theta b plus theta r equal to 90 degree. Now as there is refraction of light, we can use law of refraction, that is according to Snell's law, n1 sin theta b must be equal to n2 sin theta r, because the general equation is n1 sin I equal to n2 sin r, and therefore here I is Brewster's angle theta b and angle of refraction is theta r. Therefore we can write n1 sin theta b equal to n2 sin theta r. But we know that theta b plus theta r equal to 90 degree, and therefore theta r will be equal to 90 minus theta b, and therefore putting this value in the above equation we can write n1 sin theta b equal to n2 sin 90 minus theta b. But sin 90 minus theta b will be equal to cos theta b, and therefore n1 sin theta b equal to n2 cos theta b. Therefore we can write this n2 upon this n1, n2 by n1 will be equal to sin theta b upon cos theta b, sin theta b upon cos theta b, and therefore sin theta upon cos theta is tan theta, and therefore we can write here n2 by n1 equal to tan theta b, or theta b, that is Brewster's angle, will be equal to tan inverse of n2 by n1, and therefore from this expression we will get the Brewster's law, that is n2 by n1 equal to tan theta b. So the statement for this law we can state like this: the tangent of Brewster's angle, the tangent of Brewster's angle is numerically equal to the relative refractive index of the two media. If we consider n1 as 1, then we will get n2 equal to tan theta b. If the refractive index of the first medium is equal to 1, and if n represents refractive index of the second medium, then we can write tan theta b equal to n. That is, the tangent of Brewster's angle theta b is numerically equal to the refractive index of the refracting medium.